Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we dig into the nitty-gritty of corporate filings so you don't have to. Today we're diving into Taseko Mine's Form 40F report. Get ready because we're about to uncover some financial nuggets. It's all here in black and white and we're going to translate it into plain English. First, let's talk about what this Form 40F actually is, because Taseko is a Canadian company listed on the NYSE American. They need to file this form every year with the SEC. Think of it like their annual checkup, where they give the US regulators a full view of their business. This report includes an annual information form or AIF, audited financial statements under management, discussion and analysis or MD&A, providing important insights to shareholders. Now, before we jump into the numbers, it's important to mention a small disclaimer about reserves and resources estimates. This is because the company is using Canadian standards, which are a little different from US standards. What this means is that the numbers that you will see in this report might be a little different than if a US company was reporting on the same thing. It's like measuring in inches versus centimeters, so just keep that in mind as we go through this. Let's talk about internal controls, which are like the company's financial watchdogs. Management evaluated these controls and found them to be effective as of the end of last year. In simple terms, this means that the company believes their systems are working well to ensure that the financial information is accurate and reliable. And this is really important for maintaining trust with investors. The report confirms that management believes that their internal controls over financial reporting were effective as of the end of last year. Plus KPMG, the company's auditor until they were done March 14th of this year, also gave a thumbs up to the company's internal controls, which is great news. Okay, let's dive into the good stuff, the numbers. Taseko's total revenues for last year were about $378 million compared to about $330 million the year before. That's an increase of roughly 15%, which is a solid improvement. It looks like their sales are definitely on the upswing. When looking at a company's financial health, cash flow is king, and Taseko's cash flow from operating activities shows a hefty change. Last year it came in at about $125 million compared to about $44 million the year before. This boost in cash flow is a big deal. It gives Taseko more flexibility to invest in new projects, pay down debt, or even reward shareholders. Now let's check out their bottom line. Last year, Taseko reported a net income of about $43 million. That's quite a turnaround from the about $12 million loss the previous year. That swing from loss to profit is a positive sign. It shows that Taseko has been managing its costs and operations effectively. Let's shift gears to corporate governance. The Audit and Risk Committee is in charge of monitoring the company's financial reporting and risk management. It's like having a special team of directors making sure everything is above board. This committee is essential for keeping things transparent and trustworthy for investors. How much did they pay their accountants? Well, the company paid KPMG about $600,000 for audit services last year, a bit more than the year before. These fees cover the cost of making sure Taseko's financial statements are accurate and comply with regulations. Since Taseko is listed on the NYSE American, they have to follow certain rules about how they run their board and handle shareholder matters. But because they're a Canadian company, they get some leeway. For example, they don't have to meet as often as a US company would, and they have different rules for getting shareholder approval on certain deals. Because they operate mines, Taseko needs to report on mine safety. For the period covered, their US operations were not subject to regulation by the Federal Mine Safety and Health Administration. Now, let's zoom out and take a look at what all this means. Taseko's financials are definitely on the right track. Revenue is up, cash flow is up, and they've swung from a loss to a profit. That's a pretty good year. Their internal controls seem solid, and they've got a good handle on managing their risks. The corporate governance seems reasonable, even though it's a bit different from US standards. So overall, Taseko seems to be in a stable position. Of course, mining is always a risky business. Commodity prices can go up and down, and there are always environmental concerns to deal with. But based on this report, Taseko seems to be managing these risks pretty well. In conclusion, Taseko's latest filing paints a picture of a company that is financially healthy and well managed. The numbers are moving in the right direction and the company seems to have a good handle on its operations and risks. While there are always challenges in the mining industry, Taseko seems to be well positioned for the future. Thanks for tuning in to Corporate Decoder. If you found this analysis helpful, please like, comment and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of corporate filings.